Hey again. Like I mentioned that my father had passed away about eight and a half years ago now. And he was the one that talked me into going into the military, and how I mentioned in one of my uh, recent videos that he twice mentioned, uh, to me about going into the military. And it was the second time that is when I actually did take the exam, the ASVAB exam, and um, enlisted. And then I mentioned about, that with the super soldier program, like this one video that I saw, someone had his day job in the military, but then on the side they had him doing something else. But that's clicking another memory that I did something else that I remembered regarding my father. Now, again, my father had passed almost 8.5 years ago. And again, I was raised as a Christian most of my adult life, and it was just in 2013 that I stopped going to church and that I denounced my affiliation with the church. But again, anyone who wants to be a Christian or a Jew or Muslim or Buddhist, whatever, or Hindu, that's your business. Whatever what helps you in life, you do. But for me, it wasn't serving me, and I wanted to break out of the matrix and really think outside of the box. So I started to just think a moment ago with regard to my father that someone, a family member, spoke to them. Now, again, even though I was raised as a Christian, you die, then you go to heaven or hell, right? And my father wasn't the nicest person. He wasn't really nice to us. He had a lot of secrets, a lot of things that he did very stealth. But again, he was someone who had talent at certain things. So I respect him for at least that. But so even though that, I was introduced to Christianity and by heaven and hell, um, you don't really believe it. I mean, on the surface, you believe it because that's what they tell you to believe. But you say, I don't know. But so when this family member told me that he was spoken to and said certain things, just he didn't hear him like he said something to this individual, and the person just thought it was just the imagination. So my father repeated what he said, and I'm starting to think. I said, "Wow, it can he really be alive somewhere?" And even though on the surface with Christianity, you go to heaven, you go into like a in between place, and you know my father was not a godly person. He wasn't the worst, but he wasn't the best either. He did what he could do. No, none of us are perfect, but it's really getting me to think now, especially with these different programs they have. And my father wanted me to go into the military. It's like he really would want to force me to do certain things and, occupations, whatever. I felt like he was trying to control my life, and that I didn't like. But could he really be alive somewhere? And dimensionally, um, I did go to the funeral. I did see him in the um, his coffin, and it was him. I was by his bedside when he passed away. So it's no secret of his death. But when we got to, he had a military funeral, and at the cemetery, they told us, you can't see the body. You're not, they can't open up the coffin for you. And I started to get upset because I wanted to see him one more last time. I guess to really make sure that is he really dead, you know? And that's when I started to cry. When they said, "No, we're not allowed to open up the coffin when we're at the cemetery. We're not allowed. Like it's a rule that when you get to the cemetery and you're having a military that they forbid it." I'm thinking now with all this super soldier stuff that, see, I was told that they're able to resurrect the body. I mean, they're able to take, the they make clone. I mean, it sounds completely way out there what I'm saying. But why? Why can't you open the thing? Why the secret, see? So I'm wondering whether they redid him, but that he's really alive. Now, all with this super soldier stuff, they're able to get somebody's tissue, like their brain or whatever, and make a clone. I'm wondering whether his body is really in there. Yes, he did die, but they can take it and, like with these last YouTubers that I watched that were super soldiers, that they're able to do that. And this family member hearing him talk to him. So thank you for taking care of your mom. So what is it? Did they take his body and, since he was in the military, and redid him? And he had able to communicate somehow? This is again food for thought on my spirit journey on what is reality, what is going on. And definitely anyone who out there who's watching this video who had a family member who was in the military and you wanted to just see them one last time and then they refuse you to open up the coffin, let me know. Share that below. Oh, there was another thing that led me to think of this, that I was watching a video maybe 2 months ago, and the person, the wife's husband was in the military, and there was some scandal, something, and he died in the hospital. And I mean, she was there in the hospital, and then she just went to I think go to the ladies' room or something. When she came back, they said he was dead, and then they refused her to see his body, and then they refused her to see the body at the funeral home. All these things, and at the funeral itself, the burial. And then she said sometime later on, shortly after his alleged burial, she saw someone watching her. And when she went outside, and it looked like a husband. And when she noticed him, then he hid and then ran away. And this is a recent video of someone sharing that. And so I'm wondering, is this what's going on? My father was in the military, but back in those days, every male had to go in the military. And I'm wondering what's really going on. So again, let me know what you think, and you can comment below and share this video with friends and family members. And you can subscribe and like this video. And those of you who like this new content regarding this spiritual journey and as it pertains to the occult activity with regard to this we call it super soldiers or the space program and the like, feel free to PayPal me, and you'll see a link to do that on my channel, and you can press on the icon and just follow the procedures. Thank you again for listening, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.